How you doing, Mahat? How you, Rob? Spanish. And Chris. How's all? So, back with another shoe. I don't know where we're at tonight. Oh, 668 maybe or something like that. I don't know. I still haven't logged in over Rumble. I suppose I better check in there. Just see what the fuck's going on there. Um, my feed hopefully will show up as being live. Oh yeah, we're showing up just as being live. So you just check in there, and I better check in over at racoonsnews.com. Code 8080. Let's see what's going on there. So looks like I'm the only one over there as well too. That's A-OK. So I think I'm logged in everywhere relevant. So anything else I need to do here before I mosey on? Just lower the volume on that mad techno a little bit. Just I do like to have a little bit of something going on in the background, so it relieves the boredom on me here because I'm here on my own some these days. Spanish, it's not music. That's why I play it on YouTube, because it's not fucking music, all right? So I can get away with playing shit on fucking YouTube. They don't give a fuck about fucking playing shit on it. I actually turn it up now just because you're fucking annoying me now, right? I've got to turn it up now so I annoy the bastard. Off ski with the shite news ski. All right, I guess you all just want to hear about fucking the good news from Ukraine and fucking Ruski and Ameriski and Europski. Is that what's going on here? I can turn the shite off. It's no fucking problem, man. Just don't remember that. Don't remember agreeing that it was a democracy around here. Holy shit, man! I thought we were all sort of like moving forwards to a brand new version of democracy, which kind of like was a bit more reminiscent of communistski, you know? I don't know, you know. I'm not totally sold on this fucking democracy stuff, like, you know, but you're seeing the top right is the wrong way. Well, look, you know, it's a good idea to have a wrong way around Z. So at least we've always got a cover story. You can always claim them from Australia or somewhere like that, you know. just in case the Ruskies do win, you know. You got to hedge. You got to hedge your bets, right? You got to hedge your bets, you know. So in between all the pro-Western propaganda I'm going to feed you tonight, I'm going to be feeding you a good healthy dose of Eastern propaganda as well too. But after all, no matter which side wins, I want us to come out on top, you know. Hey, you Johnny, Kendo, said hello to Chris. How you doing, buddy? I got you, Rob, and let's see anybody new joining in here. Let me catch up, and I'm fucking dead. Thank fuck. Let me just take a quick check in on Racoons. And nothing happening over on Rumble, and fuck all happening over on racontoursnews.com. But that's okay, because we're all back home here, where we should be, on YouTube, right? Which is the main thing, because look, you know, we can always sort of like have our own platform and to be there running in the background. It's not going away anywhere, and it doesn't matter. Nothing happens on it, but at least it's there. Right? It's there for prosperity, and we'll keep that fucking going. And we'll always have a little fucking fallback point just in case. There's the odd week where you don't get blessed with the grace of my presence, you know. Jenny, how you doing? And hello, Stewie. That Z is an end, Chris. I know. I was watching a really interesting chap, and I'm not talking about I'm not talking about that bloody bullshit artist. What is it? Earl Grey, who allegedly up in St. Petersburg and spends every day of his fucking week putting down his home country. No, I'm not talking about a cunt like that. An actual, really honest to goodness English lad who is doing a tour of Russia, and he's doing all the B roads. He's really going out into the actual the countryside in Russia, and it's amazing, absolutely amazing. Like just to see these old, forgotten places in Russia, it's like it's not that it's run down or anything like that, but you can see that it's been forgotten about since its main industries have been shut down, and the people, while not in total abject poverty, like they don't have fuck all, man. They absolutely they have fuck all, but they do have a good spirit. I'm starting to get I've always had a good time for Russian people, right? Always had a great time for Russian people, but reviewing some of these channels I've been finding lately on YouTube, it's just mad, the amount of channels that are pumping out stuff from old Russia, and Russia is clearly not like what is portrayed on the news, and what you see, we get kind of like a sanitized sort of view of what Russia is like. It's all kind of like based around the centers, right? The centers where anybody wants to be or where they want to live. Like we're talking about Moscow, and we're talking about St. Petersburg, and we're talking about Sochi, and even I had aspirations. Maybe I'd like to move to Sochi, But I have to admit, the women in bikinis skiing down ski slopes had no bearing on my decision to want to go to Sochi, right? Absolutely no bearing at all. So, well, that aside, but the real Russia is far more interesting. So, but it's clearly, it's not what I thought it was. I knew that there was, I knew that Russia was in a state of poverty. It was kind of forgotten about, and that the people there have fuck all. They really have fuck all, especially when you hit these rural places. There's no support structure. There is support structures to a certain degree, there was one particular channel I was following, and he's a Russian chap. He's a really, really sound character, and through his channel, he's got about 300,000 subscribers, a mix of people from all over the world. They donate to his channel, and what he does is he finds people who are in trouble and suffering, in Russia, and he goes around and he tries to sort of alleviate their suffering. So there was one story I'm really tuned into at the moment, and he visited this old babushka. She's not that old, she'd be about maybe mid-age, right? Caring for 3 handicapped children. Her husband had died he committed suicide about 4 years previously her interpretation of why he committed suicide was something along the lines of the stress of having to care for 3 handicapped children just got to him, and he just gave up, So here she is, she's got these 3 handicapped children. They're living in a kind of a shack, it's not even but they don't work for anything. She has her own garden and stuff like that. They grow their own food, but yet she's got her 2 boys. They were disabled, but not mentally disabled, but physically there's something just not quite right with them. And a little daughter about 18 years old, she's suffering from an immunodeficiency of some sorts, and she used to be fine. She used to be a normal kid, when the normal medications were available. But last few years, the important medications that she needed were not available anymore and got pulled, and she's been bedridden for about 6 to 8 years now. Poor little thing, a gorgeous little child, if you are a red-blooded male in around marrying age, you go for a girl like this, but she's been stuck in bed for the last few years. So this Russian chap, he goes around, he tries to find these families who are in distress and dire needs, and he tries to help them out. So I'm following this story of this particular family at the moment. The 2 little boys have just had their operations in the last couple of weeks. So I assume I'm going to be hearing more about the two little boys, see how the operations went. I'm still waiting for an update on the little girl. Apparently, like she's been getting seen by an expert in Moscow. It's the only place you can go to get her seen to. Like, and the unfortunate thing about the little girl's story was that like um, she wasn't getting the full amount of benefits that she was entitled to because she was still deemed physically fit to go out and get a job, like But you know, when you follow the little girl's story, like you can clearly see that she's stuck in a fucking bed. How would you go to fucking work, man? So clearly, things in Russia are not as rosy. I had an idea that things weren't that rosy inside Russia, like, but I'm pretty clear now. It's like no, no, especially when you start to see um, how it works in the really rural areas and the out of the way places. Like I'm talking about like towns that are totally forgotten about, like where they used to have full on industries and the industry's closed and clearly people are still living there. They still got their lives. They're happy enough, like but there's fuck all in the place. Like we're talking about ghost towns almost like ghost towns falling apart, but the people mind them as best they can, like and but clearly the sense I'm getting is like the Russian people, they're lovely people, like absolutely lovely. They remind me of like rural Irish. They remind me of rural Irish people. Like everybody will take time to talk and have a conversation with you, and just make that time in general for people. Have a bit of conversation. That would be that's been nice to see that side of Russia. Like we do get this kind of a sanitized version of Russia, like where it's like Moscow and St. Petersburg, they're really rich and affluent areas, but like the majority of Russia, I think, is clearly in a dilapidated state. Like it needs it's it needs some care and attention. That's what I'm thinking. Like it needs some care and attention, and and from following all these Russian patriot dissidents that I've been following recently, I'm getting the impression that like there's a lot of unrest in Russia, like, a lot of unrest. A lot of people feel that like Russia has been sold down the fucking toilet. Absolutely. So anyway, that's for later on. I'll cover some of the Russian dissident stuff in a little while. I'm not going to focus on it now just at the moment. But I just thought it kind of interesting just to highlight some of what I've been. Because like once I start some of these Russian channels, the other way you start watching something on YouTube, I pick a particular topic. There was two topics I started following this week. One of them was actually stories of rural Russia and things like that. And I'm just getting bombed with stuff like this from the YouTube. So it's been nice. It's been pleasant just to get a break from all the bullshit, like because YouTube is a lot of fucking shit at the best of times, like. But clearly, if there's good stuff being put out on them too. So I've been getting some real life recording from inside Russia. It's been interesting, I have to say. Jimmy's voice is noise pollution. Oh yeah, I forgot to disconnect the. I forgot to disconnect the out din. I noticed earlier on. I used to have a little script written up that I was able to disconnect any audio like that coming through with just with one command. But for some reason, it's just not working at the moment. So I have to do it manually. So I can still hear the music now, and but you should be safe and safe and not having to hear that din, that obnoxious boom, 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 boom going on in the background. So let me get back now to what's Spanish saying about me, the little fucker. Right? What's he saying about me now? Who's pumping their bike up? uh, right, there you go, my hat. It's off, right? I hope you're fucking happy now. The whole fucking lot of yous. Hey, Tony, mate. It should be off now, Tony. It should be off now, Tony. I didn't realize it shouldn't be that fucking loud. It shouldn't be that loud. I'll go down to the bottom now and see. Thank fuck that's gone. Okay, so you just sorted. It shouldn't have actually been loud. It shouldn't have been loud at all. You know? Hey, Kendo. BB, hello. I think everybody's really happy. Everybody's really happy. Do you know what? It brings joy to my heart to be able to bring small mercies into your little lives. How you doing, Nick? Am I in a camper van? No, I'm in a trailer, mate. I live in a trailer, you know? You should know that, man. Do you not know that? Holy shit. There you go, Gonzo. The fucking noise is off. So I think that's it. Everybody should be happy now. If you're not happy, I don't know. I'll become a Christian and I'll say a prayer for you all. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. That's kind thank you, Jimmy. It's also because I have a ringing in my ears that makes it harder to focus when I hear different sounds mixing. Okay, you got tinnitus, is it? Is it tinnitus, Johnny? Although I tell you what, I have been getting brutal headaches lately. Absolutely brutal headaches. I don't know where they're coming from. How you doing, mascara? Absolutely brutal headaches. I just can't get rid of them for whatever reason. You look better with a wig and some makeup. It better be some decent makeup, like it's going to take something special now to get me looking good. I have to say, turn your Wi-Fi off, Chris. Hold on. Why don't I just turn you off? That might be easier. I said, Kendo, it's not fucking music. It's like it's just noise, man. It's fucking noise. That's why you can get away with playing it on YouTube because it's not fucking music, right? I mean, you learn from cooking. People never learn, right? They'll never fucking learn. They love dicing with the fucking YouTube algorithm, so they keep on. It's kind of funny watching them trying to play all these really old tunes and say, "Oh, we're safe now. We'll go back. Let's pick tunes from 40 years ago, like, and we'll be safe then," and they're still getting bollocks. Why don't you just play a bit of fucking techno and play it fucking safe? Keep your channel fucking going. It's only a matter of time before they'll boot you like for for playing the wrong tune, man. You think they'd learned their fucking lesson by now, but clearly not. Clearly not. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Spanish. They do. They want the bands. I think they want the bands. It's like that Stockholm syndrome thing. Unless your abuser is abusing you, you don't know you're fucking living, right? But what else was I watching during the week? I'll tell you, there was something else I was watching during the week. I actually watched a detransitioner video a few days ago. I watched a detransitioner, like a very, very pretty girl, extremely pretty. Like she was covered in fucking tattoos and face tattoos and stuff like that. So she was in fucking nutcase, right? An absolute nutcase, but she was very, very pretty. And and she had decided that she was going to transition into a dude, right? So anyway, she started taking the testosterone. It was testosterone she was taking, right? She was taking testosterone, and And then her voice went all sort of deep. And I tell you what, she had a voice she'd kill for as a dude, like, she, but like, but she was bringing us through her story. Like, it was a video from about, I think, 6 months ago when she decided to first start to do the YouTube videos and sort of like try to warn young people off fucking making rash choices like this, like, because um, she ended up having a lot of problems. She ended up having a lot of fucking problems from taking testosterone. Like, we're talking about body aches, pains, not only the change voice, the possibility that her voice will never return, like, and now she finds that she's in a place where she's so fucking glad that she never went through with any of the surgeries, right? And I'll tell you what, this is a girl that you look extremely, extremely beautiful, but 100% a lefty. You know, it wouldn't matter as beautiful as she was. Like, it wouldn't appeal to me because like, it just no, it's okay. You're too mad for me. Just give me a nice conservative filly. I just want a conservative filly, just someone that's not so fucking extreme and impulsive, like. But I've been learning a new. I have to say, my heart goes out to these people who have. Sometimes I come on here, right, and I do talk about mental illness and the need to bring back more um, psychiatric units and stuff like that. Like, from, and I've been inundated with videos now this week from detransitioners. If you go and look at some of these stories that are coming on, show us a pic, Jim. Yeah, okay, Rob. I'll see if I can find some back in the meantime while I'm sort of like speaking here. But I got inundated now this week, like, with basically videos from people who are making the detransition process, going through it, like, and and they all seem to have the same story, like, they were going through a rebellious phase, right? A rebellious phase in their lives, and they just wanted to, and they were just rebelling against everything around them, their parents, their society. They didn't fit in. They just didn't seem to fit in, and it was their way. Like, I mean, like, this is something that I can relate to myself because I went through these phases myself, like, where, bloody hell, I just rebelled. I was a nutcase when I was a kid, like, and that's why I can relate to the idea of rebelling against the whole thing, like, So basically, I'm still looking here. I'm still searching. I'm still searching for got shorts there. Beautiful Russian girls, more Russian stuff. Where's this chick gone? Where's she gone? Got that Polish chick, Annie K. She's cool. Bloody hell. But yeah, I'm starting to find a little bit of empathy for these people, I have to say. I'm no longer going to be so. I can't find this video in my history just at the moment. I'd love to show you a picture of her. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? I'll bet you if I just done a search for it. Oh no, it must be a little bit before that. I'm into the Russian stuff now. Oh yeah, well here's one girl. I think this little chick here was South African, right? Um, right. Here, I found one of them. This is a little South African chick. Now she doesn't say in this particular video whether she's South African or not, like, but let's do screenshots. Yeah, we'll do a screenshot. So this is one of the little girls, Jamie Goral, Jamie Jamie Goral, Goral. a lovely little girl. This is one of the girls who was actually talking about like why she got into the, you know, why she decided that she was detransitioning, and like explaining like how it was all part of the rebellion process, okay, and how it was sort of like a way of her to fight back against her parents and society in general, like, um, and she thought that this was the way to do it, like, because this is what all the young people were doing. This was their way of rebelling at the moment. I remember back in the days, like when I used to rebel and stuff like that, and um, but I was a fucking nutcase, lad. I was a punk rocker. I was a rock and roller. I was an activist. I was a lefty fucking activist at one stage, me. And we all go through these processes. So I find myself at the moment, I'm finding myself in a state where I'll just hit play on this. You see her talking. You can't hear her, obviously, like, but you get an idea of like what she might be like spiritually, like by her facial mannerisms, like, but I can relate to what they're talking about. It's not like I can't understand where they're fucking coming from. You know, it's so unfortunate, though. It's so unfortunate that so many young people um, are being allowed to buy into this whole idea that, like, yes, perhaps you should do a snip, snip, chop, chop. Like, maybe you should do that, and maybe then you'll feel like a more fulfilled individual. Like, but this little girl here, right? This little girl here that you're looking at now on screen, she is so fucking happy she didn't make that move. She didn't get any surgeries or nothing like that. Um, she is so fucking happy. All she wants to have now is children, right? That's all she fucking wants now, is to have a child. So hopefully it'll all work out for her. I get the sense, though. I get the sense she likes female company, though, right? So don't get your hopes up, lads, right? Don't get your hopes up. But anyway, that's enough of that little one. What's there? Where was the other chick? This was another. This was a lad. This was a lad, a detransitioner. Da, 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 da. This is the crazy one. There was one earlier than that, like ID transitioned. Yeah, this one here. Um, So this is the other girl. This is the one with the very, very deep voice, right? This chick here. She actually did take the testosterone. She has got a very, very husky voice, like, so you can tell, like, and she's not happy about it anymore. But at the end of the day, um, she also didn't take the plunge into having the surgeries and stuff like that. And she finds that she is so fucking glad that she did not fucking do it, right? And she will also admit too that that there's a certain aspect of what's going on, like with the with this push and this detransition and phenomenon. Like, there's a certain degree of mental instability involved. Like, from the ones I've listened to, that's what I'm getting. Is like they do recognize that there's a certain amount of mental instability involved. Like, but at the end of the day, like, they know it and they recognize it now. Like, and unfortunately, like, the way things are working out for a lot of young people at the moment is that, like, they've been goaded into these surgeries and stuff like that long before they've had enough time to actually really had a chance just to think these things through, and maybe give them a chance just to work it fucking out. Let's work this shit out. See if we can get a fucking handle on it, like, because they're overwhelmed with these feelings, like, oh, I just want to fucking break out, or I want to fucking I want to fuck the world up, right? And I can relate to that. I really can. And I suppose I'm kind of glad I'm this week now that I'm having an opportunity now just to listen to some of these people. Go search this topic out on YouTube. I encourage you, go search it out on YouTube. I'm inundated now. My feed is absolutely inundated now this week, like, with story. But anyway, she's very pretty, isn't she? Very. But I don't know what's underneath the makeup now or anything like that. But anyway, just that's just a couple of the ones I've watched over the last couple of days. Now, I'm really glad I watched them. Now, it's given me a deeper understanding, I suppose, as to what may be going on with these young people, and it makes sense that it's a rebellious thing. I, I just never equated it that way before. I always just equated it to, you know the way we are, conspiracy theorists, something in the fucking water or something like that. I don't know. It could, any one of a number of fucking things that could be going on, So, but if it is a rebellious thing, and you know how impressionable children are, they pick up on these things. So, like, transitioning is the new way to rebel, and they're picking up on it, and of course it's just, oh right, well, this years ago when it was time to rebel, it's like, okay, we done up banners, man, we climbed big fucking towers, we hung fuck the police up on the towers and stuff like that, but now they want to chop off their dicks and stuff like that. So okay, well, we need to sort of like bring back the old way of rebellion, because its effects weren't as long lasting. It's so unfortunate. I think there's one story I came across there just before I went live there. Story coming out of Canada. Basically, let's see if I can get it up. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Yeah, I will. I'll actually get this story up. And we'll do a screenshot again because it is handier. So, Victor reacts. Horrific. Transgender seeks to be euthanized to escape trauma of transition surgery. Not going to watch the video. Truly horrific and sad. Gateway Pundit reported on Friday. Louis Cardinal, 35-year-old Indigenous transgender woman, currently engaged in a bitter confrontation with Canada's healthcare system after it denied his request for assisted suicides. Cardinal reports that following the procedure, he was left regretful and sterilized. In 2009, he was rushed into having SRS. What is SRS? Let's see, copy, and let's see. Control V. Oh, I should have looked this up beforehand, but I was too busy bookmarking stuff. SRS. Doesn't say. Maybe somebody in the chat can widen me up to the. I assume it's got to do with some. I assume it's got to do with medications to interrupt the puberty process, right? So whatever the SRS is, it resulted in immediate regret and sterilization. So being the main point. So he's quoted here saying, "I'm in constant discomfort and pain. It's taken this psychological burden on me. I'm not able to access proper medical care. I don't want to continue to do this," Cardinal told the Daily Mail. He was subjected to what is called a vaginoplasty surgery. According to the Boston Children's Hospital, vaginal plasty requires a lifetime commitment to aftercare. If you have a vaginal plasty, you will initially have to dilate your vagina multiple times a day to keep it open. Eventually, that can be reduced to several times a week, depending on the variety of factors. Cardinal formally applied for medical assistance in dying, which is MAID under Canada's law, earlier this year, but his application was rejected. And I was just shocked, because they're just handing out MAIDs over there at the moment. It's like the numbers that are up, in the amount of number of people actually getting assistance in dying over in Canada. It's through the roof, on tens of thousands, really, really up tens of thousands. So the fact that he was rejected from getting that, it tells me, what the fuck? Here's somebody who really you fucked him up, and you still won't let him out. So anyway, the note from Cardinal's doctor noted that he was suffering from pain, anxiety related to neo-vagina for gender affirmation. This cannot continue to happen. When the rubber meets the road, radical gender ideology destroys people's lives. Don't think about this healthcare. It is horrifying mutilation. Yeah, anyway, come on, let's move on from that. We all know that. But that was one of the cases that I just came across today, just before the show, just highlights and just to tie in with this with what I've been finding about these little transgender children, like, and not just children, not just children, but adults as well too, like, who have taken the plunge and have decided to basically snip, snip, chop, chop, and and see what happens. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. My heart goes out to them now. I've, I'm going to make a commitment from now on to be a lot more compassionate. Normally, I would have just laughed, had a joke at them just at their expense for being fucking stupid. But I think at the end of the day, that's not appropriate behavior for me. And I think from now on, I need to move forward with a lot more care and attention and a little bit more humility and a little bit more compassion because, especially for the young people who don't know what they're getting into. And I constantly ask, where's the appropriate adult in these situations to guide these young people through life changing decisions like this? And I'm not saying it's happening to every child. I would imagine like it's although like when you're listening to a lot of these young people who have made the decision to detransition and stuff like that, they're talking about all their friends, and it sounds to me like it's a lot bigger of an issue than like I might be aware of. Like um, the first young lady that I showed you there, like she was saying all her friends like were sort of like busy on this transgender stuff, like and it does seem to be quite a big thing, like So I'm not quite sure how big it is at the moment, like but maybe I might get a maybe if I do listen to a lot more of them, I might get a better idea of how big the actual problem is. So, and at the moment, I can't speak for the whole population or of the world. So, anyway, let me just check in with the chat. I'm sorry, I was away there for a little bit, and I'm not going to spend too much time on the chat because I know most of the time everybody's just chatting with each other. Tony's saying this is a state attack on the children. This is the state fucking with the minds of our children, and even worse, they're telling our children to hide it from the parents. 100% Tony. Yeah, 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 yeah. There does seem to be a concerted effort coming down from higher up on this matter. Like I, I totally 100% agree with you. It's not organic. It's 100% not organic. Like it is definitely some sort of a push, and um, and we need to pay close attention to what's going on within the school systems and child protective services as well too. I think they are wants to be watched as well too because they have their fingers in too many fucking pies. If you ask me, you know, there's a time and a place for child protective services. Like, in my opinion, they have way too much fucking leeway, way too much fucking leeway, and there's too many families being affected by their bullshit. Like, and families that should never come on their radar seem to be um, constantly fucking under their watch. It's unreal. They're almost like a Nazi institution. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Tony's saying, wait a moment, didn't Hitler also sterilize the mentally unstable? Yeah, but it's worse than that. Like, it's worse than that, Tony. Worse than that. There's sterilization programs in operation at all times, even inside Europe. Slovakia is one that I can think of off the top of my tip of my tongue at the moment. Like, I was studying Slovakia. I actually had a little bit of a crush on a Slovakian girl once, and I was doing some research into their culture, like, and they have a sad history of sterilization, which goes on to this day. That's Slovakia is supposed to be in Europe, right? So the sterilization programs didn't go away. Like, we're talking about sterilization programs worldwide, globally. Like, it's been in operation for a very fucking long time. There's nothing new under the sun here. So Spanish saying, if you think that the patients are mental, you're right, but doctors that do this are worse. Yeah, 100% Spanish. Yeah, the doctors are a bunch of cons. There's one particular doctor. She comes from a town here in Ireland called Drogheda. I can't remember her fucking name just at the moment, but she is a disgust. She would turn your fucking stomach, like, especially. I came across an art. I was meant to cover a story on her some time ago, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. But we might get back there again at some stage, at an appropriate moment, like, But her Facebook feed was just vile, promoting the chopping of nipples and bread. The way she just put it, like, Madame Chop Chop or something like that. That's what she called herself. It's fucking disgusting, man. These people are sick. And I'll tell you what, there's a court case going down in America right at the moment. There's a young girl suing doctors for a massive amount of fucking money. We're talking about millions here for actually destroying her life and destroying her. Yeah, and I should have bookmarked it, but look, there's too much going on in the fucking world to cover everything, right? But we're going to find out, I think, in the not too distant future, that these doctors won't have a leg to stand on when this bullshit catches up with them. I think their days are numbered. We can say the same about, like, when it comes to the uh, the thingy bobbies. This is all going to backfire. I think, especially on the doctors as well too, who done the administration. But time will tell about that. I'm not going to hold my fucking breath about it at the moment, and I'm not over concerned about it. It is what it is. Like, those of us who didn't fucking take the snake oil, we did so with informed consent. You know, uh, and as much as I feel for the people who didn't get informed consent, like, I feel for them, but there's nothing I can fucking do about it. Nothing I can fucking do about it or say about it. And I don't feel the need to go out and fucking save anybody. But I think there's a D-Day coming for all these doctors who are acting outside, who are not acting in the patient's interest. I think this is coming. I think it's on the fucking way. But that day is still a while off, I think. Johnny's saying a lack of simple principles and ethics in most parenting lies at the basis of all of this, and the parents can only be blamed a bit for that because they too are victims of this demoralization process. I hear you, Johnny. I hear you, man. Yeah, yeah. Um, I get that. I get that. I get that. But as you get older, like, as you get older, especially in the modern times, we have access to information now that we didn't have years ago. And the same thing works in law. Like, what's the old maximum of law? Like, ignorance of law is no excuse. It's like, I see something similar going on here too. Like, I'm not saying, like, look, not everybody has the equipment to research and figure shit out for themselves. Like, but still, there's a certain onus if you're going to be a parent and stuff like that. There's a certain onus on you to have a little bit of common sense and to actually do a little bit of research before you allow your children to take unnecessary risks. Um, like, our grandparents managed to get their children through, and on a minimal amount of information, just on old knowledge, like, So um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm on the wire with that one. I'm quite happy to blame the fuck out of the parents, but anyway, maybe I'll come across a channel of a YouTube channel from parents who have allowed their children to transition, and maybe we'll get their story at some point. Who knows? I won't hold my breath though. Can we not just chat about the earth being flat? Fuck off, Spanish. The earth being fucking flat. Or Dinny is a cunt. I don't want to talk about Dinny as a cunt because he is a fucking cunt. Rob's moods. I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Fucking hell, Spanish, man. I thought you were away with your family this weekend. Give us a fucking break. It's bad enough, man, having just it's bad enough having me, Doctor Doom, around. There's no room for two Doctor Dooms in this shithole, man. Good God, he's a fucking chatting away like crazy here. The lawyer defending the Nuremberg trial cited the UK's use of sterilisation of the undesirables in society. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Right. Yeah, yeah, Spanish. I know. I'm far behind, but I was I was away from the chat because I had to show you the picture of the cute little chicks who detransitioned, right? So, and I wasn't able to keep up with the chat at that particular moment of time. So, yes, I'm far behind, right? I am far behind. So that's okay. I'm caught up now. So, um, you can give me just give me a yellow card. Give me a yellow card for that. But anyway, so yeah, that's been my excursion now this week, basically, in new things that I've learned. So I've learned some things about Russia. I've learned some things about detransitioners and stuff like that. So that's been where I've been at, like with absorbing new materials. And of course, last weekend there was no show as well too. So my apologies for not being here last weekend because, in case you didn't hear, my mom reached 80 fucking years old. She's double Jabberwockied and she reached 80 years old. And I swear it's younger looking she's getting. And but it was an amazing weekend. It was absolutely amazing. My sister Fiona done a great job organising the whole family to be there, and we had people from everywhere. We had people over from America, from England, and because we have families in far-flung corners. So she had a lovely time, and thankfully she didn't get a heart attack or something like that when she seen the big dude that was lined up for her, like But um, it was lovely, and my son was over. My son I hadn't seen him for 10 years, so my son was over. We had a good few pints together, had a great old chat, and he's turning into a lovely young man. So, how you, Paula? Is Paula in? Is she? How you doing, Paula? And so it was great to see Chavez, my little boy. I didn't get any pictures yet, but I will. I'll catch up with Fiona at some stage, and maybe I can show you some pictures and show you my son and show you me mammy and me brother and sisters, and so that was last weekend. And God, it was tough. It was tough. I was piping. I was piping on the night of the birthday. I was piping the next fucking day afterwards, and it's like it took me several days to get over it. Like I'm just not as able for these all nighters as I used to be. Just and plus it's different drinking out in the pub. I'm not used to drinking in pubs. Like I always find that like it's when I go drink in a pub, I get really fucked. It's like it's unreal. I get so fucked. It's like unreal. And but I survived anyway. I'm still here. I'm still alive. And Mum didn't get a heart attack or nothing like that, which is good. So I still think she got a placebo. She took two of the fucking yolks, right? She took two of those bastard yolks that were going around. So you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it by her. And what else has been going on in my life in the meantime? Yes, I done a refresher. I done a refresher on the emergency first aid. I done my emergency first aid course there as well over the last 2 weeks as well too. So I got a refresher course on the first day, which is really good to get. Like I'd only done it once before, but the second time around was really really good. Absolutely excellent course, and I'd highly advise anybody who hasn't done a first aid course do it. Like it's absolutely amazing. You learn some really cool tips and tricks. And if you do it, don't forget to get the odd refresher course, because if you're not using it all the time, you can forget some of the techniques and stuff like that. So I'm really really glad I got the first aid course in. And plus, we got a really, really good tutorial on how to use a defibrillator and stuff like that, and how to do CPR. It was excellent, like very, very, a very, very interactive course from a field medic, like a field medic, like basically a paramedic, like, and who works in the trade, not just some tutor who just downloaded the information and is able to deliver it, but an actual paramedic, like so got some really useful tips and tricks, like, and it was quite amazing some of the stuff that he was teaching us, like because we were there, we were learning the CPR, right? And I remember the first time that I learned how to do CPR, and you'd be giving it loads, right? You'd be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then you stop and you go, 2 breaths, right? 2 breaths. And then you go back, you do the CPR, you'd be pumping away again. 1, 2, 3. And then you give 15 more breaths after 15 pumps. And I was there and I was watching him sort of like deliver the CPR part of it. Like, and I was there, why are we just pumping, man? What's the story? I remember when I learned this, I was saying, when we learned this first, we always had to stop after 15 pumps and give 2 breaths. Then he started talking about COVID. He said, well, when COVID came along, it was mandated that there was to be no breaths. So, but interestingly enough, he did end that particular sentence about like when COVID came in and that like it was no longer advised to do the breath part of it. Like he was saying, they found that there was no difference in outcome whether you have the breath or not. Right? This was fascinating. I found that very, very fascinating. So it seems that like if you find yourself in a situation where you're having to do CPR on somebody, like it's just enough to keep the heart pumping because obviously there's still enough oxygenated blood in circulation. All you got to do is just keep it circulating, right? Now it's not discouraged. You can give it a couple of breaths as well too, like but still, it was fascinating to find out that like from the studies that were done that like there was no observable difference between given the breath or not, like so that was interesting. Just interesting for a geek like me. Maybe he's like, what the fuck's he on about here? But anyway. Any nice birds there, Jimmy? Denny? Yeah, yeah. Oh, Mary. Oh, there was a Mary there. Yeah, she's actually. She's a. I best be careful. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know who'd be watching this fucking shit. So Mary's a fine thing, very, very fine thing. She was there, and I was there. It was her turn to do the CPR, right? It was her turn to do the CPR, and she was at such she was down a bit down the hall, so all you could see was her top, right, the top part of her torso. You could see her. That's what you could see. Up, down, up, down, up, down. But anyway, it's amazing what you pick out like at some of these courses, like. But yeah, Mary's a fine thing, like good looking girl. So, but there was just one, just one. But if you want good looking girls in rural places, right, Russia's the place to go. I've been watching a lot of those Russian videos, and I'll tell you what, there's some shit hot Russian girls out there. Learn a bit of Russian, go over there, go to the country, move to the countryside in Russia. Yeah, you'll probably find a woman, good looking one. Not like a lot of the whales we find around here locally, like, but actually, yeah, there was a load of on the subject of whales, wasn't there? So there was a pile of fucking pilot whales turned up. I'll just check in with Raconteurs over on Rumble. Nothing happening there. Jim O, how you doing, Jimmy O? Jimmy O is over there in the raconteursnews.net.com. Sorry. uh, So Jimmy always say you only got a copyright ban and you can put you can put ads on it, no loss of channel. That's cool to know. That's cool to know, Jimmy O. So yeah, we have a few people over on raconteursnews.com. But Jimmy O, just in case you didn't know, we have our YouTube channel back at the moment, and I am going to do my best. I'm going to do my best not to get this channel kicked off the interzones, and so that'll it's going to take some doing. It's going to take some doing, I have to say, but it can be done. It can be done. You know, I've just got to be careful about what I fucking say. Kendo was saying those Davushkas are beautiful, Jimmy. They are, yeah, they are, yeah, absolutely. Oh, they're cute, man, cute. Denny is saying he sent me pictures. He's lying on the beach drinking cold beers. Are you serious, Denny? Oh, thanks, Spanish. I'll take that as a compliment. The comedy is over here. But anyway, so yeah, that was my excursion down doing the emergency first aid response, and apparently they're crying out for paramedics. Apparently they're crying out for paramedics at the moment. So, and on that topic though, there was something came up there. Something actually did come up. Because I remember we were listening to Rob there a couple of weeks ago. I don't think Rob was on this week. I don't think Rob was on at all this week. But he was talking about a particular problem that was going on in America or in England regarding certain regarding ability to get hospital care and stuff like that. I'm going to go back in my history here because I had something saved from a few weeks ago. Oh yeah, did you hear about Lisa Marie Presley? It turned out we got her autopsy report came in. Lisa Marie died from complications arising from there's an operation that girls get done, right? When they when girls turn into whales and they don't like being whales anymore and they want to lose weight really, really quickly, they get an operation done where they get part of their stomach tied, and they create a second stomach inside. So whatever, she got a complication from that, an infection of some sorts. That's what killed Lisa Marie Presley, was an operation to help her reduce her weight. So anyway, just in case you didn't hear about that, because I know there was a lot of stuff going around at the time, a lot of questions. Oh, maybe she was double wakied or whatever. Like, no, we got the results back, and so yeah, she had complications from something. Where is this article gone? Where is this bloody? It can't be that fucking far back. It really can't be this far back. But we've been getting numbers about the increase in sickness and ill health that's been going on in England over the last 2 years. I can't find it back now. Can't find it back now. But it was all sort of like all of the illnesses were basically broken down into various problems. Like we're talking about huge increases of all the different types of illnesses, which were um, which were being found in people around you. We're talking about 150% increases, 250%, even some of them were 500% increases. God, I can't find this article now, it was fascinating. Maybe it's not. It can't be this fucking far back. Let's go back to page number 3 here. I do bookmark stuff here when I do be going along, but I don't always get a chance to cover everything in each show. So I do end up with a shit pile of stuff that I don't actually cover. Just give me one moment just to see if I can find where this is. No, it's not coming up. It's not coming up. No, I bet you wish you had a bit of techno now to listen to now, while I'm sitting here in silence trying to find this fucking old link. Nah, it's not coming up. Like I'm seeing everything COVID related, like, but not the article I'm looking for. No, it's not coming up. Maybe if I do, maybe if I do a Google search on it, it might help. Um, I'll do a Google search on it here in the background. It might pop up. Ed Dowd, wasn't it? Uh, English health data. Uh, I'm using a new search engine as well too. So I wonder if this is it here. No, it's I can't find it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take note of this particular topic, and we can go into it next week. And but like the reason, like there's a good reason why there's a serious waiting list problem in America, in England, basically, and why it's getting very, very hard. Like if I can remember off the top of my head, we're looking at 150% plus hematological problems, 150% increase, 250% increase in heart-related issues, a huge increase in stroke-related issues. He had it all listed out, like, and where he got his data from was the PIP, which they actually record uh, data from various sources, basically insurance related sources, PIP UK data, Ed, Ed Dowd. I'll try that one. PIP UK data, Ed Dowd. Oh yeah, maybe that's a rumble sign. That's a rumble sign. Right. Okay. Okay. This might be it here. Right. Yeah. I found it. I think I found it. Basically, actually, just taking a step back sometimes and just trying to remember. Just stop trying to remember helps sometimes, right? So this is Ed Dowd. If you don't know Ed Dowd, he's kind of like he's a Wall Street. He worked for BlackRock. I don't know whether I trust this fucker or not, like but at the end of the day, his data is fairly sound. I have to say his data is very so. Whether you can trust him or not, I don't know. But if you don't follow this guy Ed Dowd, he's probably worth a follow. So he's quoted here saying, "We are looking for data like this, and we found it in the UK Personal Independence Payment, which is the PIP system," announced former BlackRock portfolio asset manager Ed Dowd on the Drew Short Show. "We need the help of the medical community and the regulators to explain what's going on because it's alarming," right? So basically, here, what we're seeing here, he has it. Is there? Does it give it a? So yeah, basically here, hematological, which is up 522%. Auditory problems are up 121%. Cardiovascular problems up 121%. Dermatological up 138%. Endocrine, metabolic, and thermoregulation up 156%. Gastrointestinal up 145%. Genitourinary up 143%. Immune problems up 115%. Musculoskeletal up 93%. Neurological up 107%. Oncology up 35%, psychiatric up 124%, respiratory up 93%, and visual up 80%. So he's saying these numbers are just crazy. Um, so here we've got the what's Z scores. Z scores. This is we talked about this before. This is the probability of something happening, right? Basically, this is the probability of the standard deviations. Basically, so that would explain how a 3 standard deviation happens. So 0.3% of the time, how a 3 standard deviation, which I think this is a 3 standard deviation in and around this mark here, happens 0.3% of the time. In Wall Street, that's a big deal. Sometimes we see extreme 6 standard deviation events, and that's cookie, he added. But alarmingly, the increase in hematological, which is blood related, claims equates to a 61 standard deviation. That's slightly the probability of a black hole appearing near the Earth and we get sucked in 2 years. It's not something that is likely to occur mistakenly, Dowd remarked, right? So Dowd ended by commenting 61 standard deviations is lights out, black swan event, something gone off the rails. It's so many zeros and so unlikely to happen by accident that it has to be explained. And that's what we are calling on the medical community to explain this. And so there's a full interview there. I'll tell you what, if you want to listen to him, you've probably heard it. You've probably actually heard it. But I'll tell you what, just for the sake of anybody who hasn't seen Ed talking about that particular topic, I'll just chuck it into the chat for you there, and you can have a listen in your own time. So it's just that, like, I came across that it was only a couple of days after Dr. Robert was talking about a lot of the problems which seemed to be appearing like in the UK health system, and how it seemed to be getting very, very hard to get to see a doctor or to get into an ICU or actually, I can't remember exactly all the details Rob was given, and I think probably the word was doctors were baffled by it as to what was going on. But there we go. We have the data from the PIP system, right? So, how you doing, Sean? They'll never come clean, Jimmy. Most people still believe the Spanish flu scandemic history. Yeah. Whether they'll come clean or not, I don't know. I mean, you have that. There is that group in Europe who are having an interesting time at the moment. Like I think there is actually something going on in Europe at the moment. I don't know. Christine Anderson. Are you familiar with Christine Anderson? Let me see if I can get the story back up, because I bookmarked it earlier. Where do all these things go? Where do all these stories go? Oh yeah, here we go here. So we had a headline here: the last politicians prepared to resist the WHO power grab. So what's been going on in the European Parliament, basically? I'll just, let's see, where is it gone? No, wrong window. So you got opposition to the forthcoming WHO pandemic treaty has led to the formation of a citizens' initiative by a group of MEPs drawn from 7 EU countries and intent on defending their national sovereignty from the pandemic treaty. So the group, named Trust and Freedom, met on July the 4th in Brussels under the leadership of Christine Anderson, who is the German MEP. Very, very pretty woman, actually. A very, very lovely MEP from the AFD. Dinny probably knows the AFD. I think the AFD are now leading in certain polls in Germany. I think they're coming out very, very strong at the moment. So but clearly there's a shift happening in politics at the moment in Germany. But we'll wait and see how it turns out. And Christine, who had supported the Canadian convoy protest, she criticised the undue emphasis on experimental gene therapies during the plague. Others include Francis Virginie Joron from National Rally, ex Front National member and outspoken activist on immigration matters. Christian Terez of Romania, who I do know, I do see him regularly on the podium with Christine Anderson, who protested against the measures taken by his country's government. We also had the Croatian Mislav Kolakušić. I know him too, I know his face, who criticized Trudeau's mandates in Canada and the EU, vast purchases of the Pfizer snake oil. The group is supported by other activists, including South African Nick Hudson, chairman of the PANDA, which is Pandemics Data and Analytics, who was permanently banned from Twitter for criticizing the official COOF narrative and discussing the merits of the medication. He also questioned the need for CBDCs. Another supporter is Andrew Bridgen, gets a mention here, and was stripped of his Conservative whip for speaking out against the official narrative. Now sits for the Reclaim Party. He has stated it's raising the profile. If the Citizens Initiative could work and stop the WHO power grab, I'll stand shoulder to shoulder with my European colleagues, he states, Andrew Bridgen here stating, the sooner we turn the page on this dark chapter in our human history, the better for all of us. The group is supported by an international team of lawyers led by Swiss Philipp Kruse and German Alexander Christ. Kruse is acting for the injured from the treatment. Plaintiffs in mRNA injury case filed in July of 2022 criminal complaint against the drug regulator Swiss Demic and the doctors who jabbed the victims knowing the products were not properly tested. He maintained the public has been misled over the plague treaty and that it will lead to an experimental substances being unleashed on unsuspected populations. Well, thankfully, unfortunately, if they're still unsuspecting, what can we do for them? I don't know. I don't know if we can help those people if they're still unsuspecting. But anyway, I'll continue on here. Such forebodings are not exaggerated. There are plenty high-profile commentators who continue to feed the public with fear-mongering forecasts of ever more virulent outbreaks and the unchallengeable necessity of COOF-style management to safeguard life and, more importantly, the NHS. Anyway, they do go on and on and on. But there is this case going on in Europe at the moment, basically, and Christine Anderson is behind it. I do follow her. She's quite an interesting woman and seems like a nice soul, and it seems like her heart's in the right place. I wish she had more support. I haven't seen Claire Daly, our European minister, take any sort of an interest in it. But there is a guy, Herman something or other. So Herman Kelly, he is an Irish politician who is out there, and he takes part in the committee that Christine Anderson is part of. He does a lot of the audio and video for it, so interesting to see him out there. So he is probably one to watch from here on the Irish side. So Herman Kelly, keep an eye out for Herman Kelly. Is he National Party? I think he might be National Party. I'm not sure. The monkeypox wasn't very popular. I know, especially for the people who caught it. Oh dear. Yeah. But yeah, I've there's a particular story I've been following for the last number of months, right? We have there's a strange virus infecting cats around Europe, right? I don't know if you've heard much about it, okay? But news started breaking there a couple of months back about loads of cats in Poland getting infected, like with a particular coronavirus, right? Now, and I'm not sure about the whole true numbers, like, but it was affecting cats from disparate locations. Like they were not connected in any sort of way at all. Like so they're not sure how the bloody thing is spreading around. Like, but loads of cats were having to be put down over in Poland. Now it turns out that a story was breaking there during the week about shit pile of cases in North Korea as well too, right? Sparse details because you know what it's like getting news out of North Korea, but um, it's been spouted as a few cats, like, but the number could be astronomical, right? Of the amount of cats that have had to be put down, right? Now, in the process of reading a Jacob Drazen post there yesterday, he just mentioned it in passing, right? And down in the comments section, a reader from Ireland actually commented on a particular case that was being reported on from, was it Cyprus? I think it might have been Cyprus. Just hold on till I just recheck. I don't want to misquote a story like if I don't have to. Ba-dum. Where's all my cat stuff? Yeah, there we go here. There we go here. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now, basically, deadly cat virus in Cyprus could be potentially catastrophic for the UK. Okay, right. This is don't mind the fear porn, right? So the story is 300,000 cats have died in Cyprus in an outbreak of a fatal feline coronavirus, and experts say it may have spread to other countries, right? So the deadly outbreak of feline coronavirus that has killed hundreds of thousands of cats in Cyprus could be catastrophic if it reached the UK. Around 300,000 cats, both domestic and stray, have died of feline infectious peritonitis, which is shortened FIP, on the island since January, according to Dianos Aliomatis, head of Cat's Paws Cyprus. Anyway, so what is the disease that's killing the cats? FFP is a disease caused by feline coronavirus. FCOV is a common and contagious virus in cats that is spread through feces. Most cats will not show symptoms, uh, and if they do, it is limited to mild diarrhea. But in some cases, the virus mutates to FIP, which is almost always fatal. Dr. Joe Lewis, a feline veterinary surgeon, told Sky News infection rates tend to be at the highest in cats living in close quarters and sharing toileting facilities like catteries and rescue centers, for example. It's also important to note that the virus can be transmitted mechanically on grooming brushes, cat litter scoops, and even on human feet and hands. But anyway, very, very interesting what's going on with the cats there. I'm not going to go too fucking deep into it because it's kind of it's rather boring. Like we're kind of like, look, if you're like me, you don't know what to take seriously anymore these days, right? So, and I take a lot of these stories with a large grain of salt, like But at the end of the day, I have to take this story kind of seriously, like because what we may be seeing here is sort of like it's because it's so unusual. We got a coronavirus, an avian virus, and kind of like circulating in cats. Like, excuse me, what's going on, right? What the fuck's going on? Is this another one of their goddamn experiments, right? Or is there something else going on here? Um, I have my cats here, right? I don't have them jabbed for anything, like, and I tell you what, after my experience with jabs over the last 3 years, I will never ever look at another jab again for anything. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't want to hear about it, right? Um, I wouldn't even consider jabbing my cat for anything. Like anytime you go to a vet here in this country, like, says, oh, did they get their flu jabs? It says, fuck off. They don't get fucking jabs. Anything I don't fucking take, they don't fucking take. And that's just it, right? I don't fucking trust the goddamn things. They've never had a fucking problem with flu. They might get a sniffle every now and again. I tell you what, my cats are the fucking hardiest in the fucking world, apart from what the little one has been through. Um, this last month and a half, and I'm thankful to say I think she's back. I think she's back on track. I finished giving her meds in her ears, her antibiotics there about 2 weeks ago. Been watching her closely ever since. She looks like she's kind of stable. She looks like she's stable. She looks like she's getting a little bit livelier now. So I think she's on the mend, but I'm not holding my breath just yet. I wouldn't rule out having to treat her one more fucking time. But that's besides the point, because that's not what I'm talking about. The truth of the matter is, I wouldn't give them an injection. I don't trust goddamn injections for anything like that. I'm a firm believer that, like animals, people, we all have everything we fucking need to fight everything that's on this planet. Like, unless, of course, it's some fucking crazy shit some goddamn crazy human has made and just accidentally fucking let out of their fucking safe house, you know. And I know people don't believe in viruses, and that's okay. I don't argue. Anybody who chooses to not believe, that's okay. I don't get into arguments about it. That's how everybody's entitled to believe what they want to believe. But I do actually have my own beliefs on these matters, like, and I'm not 100% bought into terrain theory. You know, I do find the arguments quite compelling, and it's interesting, very very interesting, and the people, Stefan Lanka, and there's a few that I've listened to, like they make a lot of sense. But I'd like to see more research done into it. So I'm still on the fence when it comes to all this shit, like, you know. So I always err on the side of caution, you know, and I'm still of the opinion that there is a possibility that there is such thing as a virus. You know, it's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up about it, like, you know. I'm open to the idea that there's a possibility that they exist, right? So, and but at the same time, if it's part of the natural environment, I don't see why I should get anything injected into me to protect me from it. Because, like, I'm a firm believer that if it is in the goddamn fucking environment, then we have everything that we need inside us to fucking protect us from the goddamn thing, whatever it is. Like, and if we don't keep it trained, well, then we won't be able to sort of like mutate with whatever it is that's doing the mutating all the fucking time. Assuming, of course, that they do, there is this mutating thing out there that is constantly in a state of flux. And it's very, very possible. Very, very possible. In my mind, it's very, very possible. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to force anybody to fucking believe it. And I'm not going to push the topic on anybody, but that's just my personal thing. It's my baby. And while I have looked at both sides of the argument, and both sides of the argument seem compelling, you know. Both could be true, and both of them could be wrong. But at the same time, like, you know, I have to keep an open mind. You know? I mean, I trust the science. I trust the science, you know. But yeah, it's interesting that 300,000 cats in Cyprus had to be euthanized, or, you know, I don't know whether they euthanized them or whether they just died. They didn't break it down like that, you know. But 300,000, that's a lot. Fucking hell. Imagine what happened in 2020, or to happen now in the cat population in England. How many people would go, ah, the cats, round them up, go round the fucking cats up. Like, I'll be here hiding my fuckers. He said, no, my cats are all right, man. They're, you know, if they live, they live. If they die, they fucking die. I'm not going to fucking panic about it. You know, that's sort of a fucking way. But we got a good idea what people were like during the scamdemic. You know, we got a fair good idea of what lengths people are going to go to. They'll turn on their own. So imagine what they'll do to the poor old cats, like, you know. Oh yeah, I like a bit of good pussy, me too, Johnny. I love pussy. But I'm kind of glad my little female cat is on the mend now. She seems to be anyway. 2 weeks now. I haven't seen her fall once since, and she's looking a little bit lively. She's starting to bounce around a little bit, so I think she's coming back to herself. She's eating like a fucking horse. I'd love to be able to weigh her, like, and see if she's put on some weight, because she had lost about half a kilo or something like that the last time I put her on the weight scales down in the vets, like. So It'd be curious to find out if she put on a bit of weight since. I think she probably has because she's eating like a fucking pig, right? Eating me out of fucking house and home here. There we got our resident cat lover, Spanish in the chat. Fuck him! Ah, come on, Spanish. Don't be fucking like that. You know fucking well I can pull good pussy. I can still pull the pussy. Fuck you, man. He's an awful cunt, man. All that fucking negativity, like, just as well he doesn't have a live show. We'd all be fucking committing suicide, man. You do get some dog owners not like cats, but it's never. I'm probably the exception to the rule, Rob. I'm probably the exception to the rule. I can't stand fucking dogs. I don't like dogs, man. Just they annoy me, man. Just, there's something fucking wrong with an animal that spends the whole day just going woof, 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 woof. Shut the fuck up. Like, they're all right. They're okay, like, but they do tend to annoy me, man. They do tend to annoy me. Um, yeah, I am. I'm the exception to that rule, Rob. There's always one, there's always fucking one. So anyway, yeah, there was one big story that I wanted to fucking cover. One fucking really interesting story, actually. I don't know what's going on with it. I'll be searching here in the background for it. I think I have it spread out over 2 posts. And if you were wondering what was the story with the icon on the show post for tonight, basically we have a comet incoming, right? There's a comet incoming, basically, and it's allegedly due sometime next April, I think. But it's actually flared up. It's actually flared up over the last couple of days. So the comet is called Comet 12P Pons Brooks, right? Pons Brooks. This is a picture of it. I was just blown away by this comet. I don't know whether you can see it there properly. Did I? I think I might have saved a picture of it. Like I think I saved a picture of it actually on me in my pictures folder. I think, if I remember correctly, Pons Brooks. Might be able to zoom in on it there now. Check this guy out. Look at that baby. When was the last time you seen a comet like that? Twin tails. Absolutely twin tails. A lot of people are saying it looks a little bit like the Millennium Falcon. But I know it's a little bit grainy. It's not the best photograph. It does look a little bit grainy. Let me see if I can. That was that one there. Let me see. I'll save this one. Save image as. I'll call that one Pons Brooks 2. She's a real beaut, like a real beauty. And this is on the way in, right? This is on the way in at the moment. Basically, I'll see if I can get you some information on it here. Until a few days ago, Comet 12P Pons Brooks looked like a perfectly ordinary comet. Then something on the surface exploded. Now it resembles the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy, the Millennium Falcon. So it gives a few details. Twitter has gone to fuck these days. Twitter has gone to fuck. Like, but um, so these are the images that we have of it up till now. It's here in the Draco system. I think this is it up here, somewhere around here in the in the constellation of Draco. There we got Ursa Major, the Great Bear. The Great Bear is here to one side. So to the right of the upper side of the pan of Ursa Major is Draco. So just up there at the top of Draco. I'll bring up the orbital information on in a moment, like So here we got the brightness forecast. I think it's expected to reach a brightness of, it looks like 3.5 somewhere. So that should be visible to the naked eye when it comes in, sometime around next May or April or May or something like that. All right, it doesn't actually show the orbit information here, but she's not on the collision course. But I'll tell you what, for anybody who has been following comets as long as I have, and especially who's been following the Planet X story, for example, right? It looks exactly like the portrayal of Planet X with the twin tails, the winged star. It looks like a wings, like amazing, But has this object? They're saying that this object only comes in every 76 years, right? 76 years, they reckon this comes in. I haven't heard of it before, right? I've been at this a long fucking time. We often hear about Halley's Comet, which is about what? A periodicity of about 70 years or something like that. Never heard of them talking about this before, this particular one, on a 76-year cycle. But I was doing a little bit of research earlier on, right? I wanted to see if I could find some old images of an object. Let's see if I can get it up here. Hold on. There, I think there it is here. Wait for this now. Look at this. Now, there's a twin-tailed object, right? I hope you can see it, right? I hope you can see it there. I hope it's okay. The resolution is all right. Look at that twin-tailed object. Isn't she beautiful? Now, is there a resemblance? Think about it. Is there a fucking resemblance? Is that the fucking same goddamn object? Because if this is the same object, if this is the goddamn same object, it's not on a fucking 76-year period. I've been following this object, this twin-tail object. Actually, not this one in particular, right? But this one that I'm just after showing you there over on this particular one here. I've been following this object for about 25 years. I can't count the number of times that I've seen this object in the fucking sky. It's a very, very regular object. It comes around here, and there's possibly two of the fuckers. There's possibly two of them, right? But so I'm not sure that I believe that this particular comet, Pons Brooks, has a periodicity of 76 years. If it's this same bloody object that's on this video here now, well, that something is not fucking adding up, right? Something is not adding up in my eyes. But anyway, that's just that was just a really fascinating story. That's been breaking there during the fucking week about this particular. And why now? Why now? I've just showed you a video of a twin-tailed object which is in our skies. It's in our skies, fucking regular. Like I'm talking about multiple times in space of 20 years. I would say probably I have seen 50 videos of twin-tail objects over the last 20 years. They come around every couple of years. Yeah, you could suggest that maybe. Yeah, but that probably just a rehash video. These are separate videos, different locations, taken from multiple, various different sources, man. So, and I'm just wondering, is this Pons Brooks the same fucking object? And why are they fucking advertising it now? Which is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. But anyway, that was a cool story that I just wanted to pop in there, just so that you're aware, and to be on the lookout for that comment. Let me see if I can get the date. Let me see if I can get the exact date when it's expected to arrive. So it's coming to perihelion next April, right? Yeah, next April at some stage. So I'll be keeping an eye out for it. There's loads of articles coming out about it just at the moment. Like there was one article I seen which was saying they're expecting this comet to blow up when it reaches the inner solar system. This coming from big channels, big site. Fuck off, man. The comet's going to blow up. Are you kidding me? Fuck off. But apparently, this comet does have a history of spectacular explosions and sudden brightening. It's not unusual. It's not unusual for comets to brighten. It's way out beyond the orbit of Mars, but it's coming at a highly elliptical, so it's coming way up from the north. So like it's coming like when you if you do decide if you have do you won't find it with binoculars at the moment, but you would find it like with a medium range telescope, which I don't have, but you could find it with a telescope. If you have a decent enough telescope, you'll find it at the moment up around Polaris, up in the north, right, way up at the at the geographic north, like that's where you'll see it at the moment. So, if you do intend to go out and have a look for it, um, I haven't heard any more information over the last couple of days about whether it's brightened any further or not. Like, but it's not unusual for comets to brighten up so far out, like But still, at the same time, very very interesting that like it's getting such coverage at the moment, and it is going to be coming in quite close. But it's going to be coming nowhere near us now. I think I had a look at its orbital. I had a look at the ephemeris, and it's going to be when it comes in. It's going to be over the other side of the solar system. But then again, you can't trust these solar simulators either. They're, they're- they can give you a general idea. They can give you a general idea of where things might be, but they're not perfect. They're only good for just getting a basic idea. But as far as tracking objects go, no, I think they're very very limited in how well they can track a lot of these objects. Like I'm pretty sure, like the likes of your NASA's and stuff like that have decent enough equipment to be able to predict exactly where. But for the likes of us, who are trying to, when we go online to check on the JPL simulator, trying to track the course of a comet or something like that, that's very very basic software. It's not going to give us any real data, not data that you can actually work with. But you'll get a general idea like where it'll be and stuff like that. So. Um, Let's see if I can get up the orbital details of it, and just have a quick look. Um, Pons Brooks orbit. I'm using a new search engine at the moment, and it's kind of weird. It's called Free Spoke. That fucking Egypt, what's his name? Fucking Trump's son was advertising it there during the week. So I said, okay, look, Joe, we'll give it a go. And so I'm not sure I'm noticing much difference between it and Google now, to be honest. But um, no, that's not the. That's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for the orbital diagram. It should be over at Sky and Telescope, but no. If this is the case, this is not a fucking great. This is not a great fucking search engine if it's not able to bring up the orbital information of this particular comet. Just go through the first page again, just see and make sure. Astronomy, no, astronomy.com. No, it's not being. I'm going back to my old fucking search engine. Fuck this shit, man. It's this is not working out. It's not working out, and I'm too lazy to figure out how it actually works at the moment. But anyway, that's one of the more interesting stories over the last couple of days that I did want to cover for tonight. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that comet now as it approaches over the coming months, and because I am expecting something to appear. There's a lot of bullshit going around at the fucking moment. It's unreal. Um, see the Planet X topic is coming big time back onto the. it's you've probably noticed like you can't go anywhere on the internet at the moment without coming across Planet X. Apparently, it's been spotted right down in the southern hemisphere, and I have to say I've seen some of the images that they're spouting to be Planet X. Like it was just think, yeah. Right? Did you take your fucking meds today? For fuck's sake, man. Don't be trying to fucking pawn this bullshit up on me. Like, I've seen it all before. Seen it all before. It's just interesting that it's doing the fucking rounds again right now at this particular moment in time. Well, Spanish, you're feeling a bit wankered. Unreal. Sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. But anyway, I think what I'll do for the last 20 minutes maybe is I might open the lines up. I'm not going to bore you to fucking tears. So if you do want to join in, sure, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Let me get the the link out. You come in for the last 20 minutes or so and flame me. Whatever. It's all good. It's all good. Give me some. Give me a crash course in virology or something like that, or maybe teach me how I'm wrong about the LGBTQI plus DIXYZ and all that sort of stuff. And I see Rumble is fairly quiet tonight. That's good. That's good. So that's good. And racketeursnews.com is fairly quiet also, but we'll check the link in there anyway, just in case. So, I had a shit pile of stuff to cover tonight, but like, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of it now, I just couldn't be fucking arsed with now, to be honest. The news cycle, like, at the end of the day, all eyes on Poland at the moment, and they're getting very, very worried over in Poland, basically, about this Wagner situation. And apparently there's a troop of Wagner on their way. They're making their way towards the Sawalski Gap, I think it is. I think it's the Sawalski Gap. They've been spotted heading towards. Um, I've just been listening to some of the stories like that have been bandied around, like, about what Poland are saying that Wagner may try to infiltrate and start operations within their country. It wouldn't surprise me at all because I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago I was covering the story about the preparations that were being made, the training that was going on over in America, where they were training the UN forces from various European countries around the world, getting them ready for the so-called war that's about to come, right? And they're actually training in guerrilla warfare. So, and my thinking is that's probably going to be the way it's going to be in this final war. It's going to be within every country in the fucking world, I'd imagine. I'd say this is how it's going to play out. So it would not surprise me to see the PMC Wagner uh, enter into Poland, especially around the Sawalski Gap. But for some reason, Sawalski Gap it would seem to be an ideal place to enter into the war. I'm not sure if your maps.google.com. I'll just take a look at it on maps.google and just give you an idea of where the Suwalki Gap is, just in case you're not familiar with it. Um, so here we've got Belarus on this side, we have Poland on this side, and we have Lithuania just about here. And here, right there, sandwiched between Poland and Lithuania, is Kaliningrad, right? Now, in case you haven't been keeping up with what's been going on there, Kaliningrad is more or less isolated now from its motherland over in Russia, right? So at the moment, anything that's coming in and out of Kaliningrad is going via this sea here, the Baltic Sea, right? Basically, um, but that's more or less NATO controlled, right? So now this gap here, this is the Suwalski gap here. You can see Suwalski here, right? There's Suwalki. So this tract of land is supposed to be open and free. So, and as far as I can make out, access to this route has been suspended now for some time. There's nothing going in and out through this gap. It was arranged during the treaty or whatever. Like, so the fact that now Poland is coming out saying that there's Wagner PMC are now making their way towards this general direction, this Suwalski Gap. Perhaps Russia is going to try to secure this corridor and keep its route open with Kaliningrad. So it would not surprise me at all in the slightest to see something like that occur now. That could well be the escalation point. So time will tell. Time will tell. But there's a lot of chitter chatter now coming out of Polish media, especially. Polish media is talking a lot about this. The Polish PM came out today talking about the Suwalski Gap and the Wagner soldiers. The Wagner soldiers, of course, are parked right now, right in the middle of Belarus. Yeah, somewhere around. Where about are they? I can't. It's really in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's south of Minsk here. It's somewhere down here, right? Somewhere down in this area here. Um, and it's not going to be on the map because it's such an isolated spot. But that's where they're all parked. There was an interesting meeting with Putin and Lukashenko, who is the president of Belarus, there a couple of weeks ago. And Lukashenko, he was saying to Putin, right? He was saying to Putin, the Wagners are getting very, very annoyed. It's getting hard to keep them on train. They want to march on Warsaw, basically. And Putin was there and he was smiling. It was like, yeah, the boys want to go to march on Warsaw, right? So, so I don't know. I don't know whether this is going to escalate or not. Now, we'll see. We'll see. It depends on who. It depends on who you listen to, right? If you're listening to the polls, and you're getting the idea that yeah, I think Russia are probably going to open up a new front. If you're listening to Russian patriots, actually real Russian patriots, they think Russia is getting ready to surrender. And I was listening to a fascinating interview there 2 days ago. Rollo Slavsky, Rollo Slavsky, he was speaking to a minister from Moldova, and they were talking about the Bolsheviks, right? They were talking about the Bolsheviks and how they still control Russia and how they're actually working hand in hand with the Western powers, right? And they're basically selling the Slavs out. They're selling Russia out. Like the actual Russian patriots want to fight, but they believe that Putin is going to sell them out and doesn't really want to fight. They're not really fighting this fucking war. I have to say, from what I'm watching, that's all I see too. That's exactly what I fucking see. They're not really fighting. So I'm half expecting them to surrender at some fucking stage myself. I don't know how it's going to play out, like, but um, clearly, like, nothing about this fucking war is making any sense to me anyway, in the slightest. Like, if Russia were as all powerful as they fucking were, it would be over and dusted. It would be already over and fucking dusted long ago if they had the weapons that they claimed they had. But I don't think they have. I don't think they have it. That's the truth. Of course, like, you got the people that say, "Oh, well, they don't want to hurt their brothers." And he says, "Oh, fuck off, man. If you're going into a fucking war, you're going to go to fucking win it, man. You're not going to pussyfoot around, man. No fucking way. I don't give a fuck who they are. You know, you would attack their fucking power centers. You would take them out. What was the retaliation? Now, there was a very, very interesting article about, like, from Roloslavsky as well too, like, about the grain deal, right? He says, in retaliation for the takedown of the Crimean Bridge, what do? They just cut off the grain deal. Rather than take out fucking bridges in Ukraine and stuff like that, and take out the command control centers, what do? They don't fuck all, man. They just cut off the grain deal, and this is the thing that's not making any fucking sense to any of the patriot Russians that I follow. Like, they're having a tough time understanding this. And I have to say, I'm with the Russian patriots, and it says I don't get it either. I'd love to understand more about it, like, but clearly, as much as it's not making any sense to me, it's not making any sense to the fucking Russian patriots either. What the fuck is going on? How are you doing, Spanish man? Are you well?
Hey, Jimmy, how are you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Spanish for some reason. I wonder why the fuck that is. It could be my audio settings, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It could just be my audio settings. I'll just let me see if I can just. Yeah, I think there's something wrong with my audio settings here. I have a feeling that there is something wrong with them. Just let me do a quick check before we go into the after chat. Just though I can't see what the fuck's wrong though. Everything looks hunky dory. Everything looks fine. So I don't know. But anyway, sorry about Spanish. I might have to do some jiggery pokery for the after chat, but we're on the 22:53 mark, and I think what I will probably do is I'll probably call it quits for tonight, and love yous and leave yous, and we'll be back here next Saturday night at the same time. In the meantime, I will probably try to fix my audio. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my audio. It was working there fucking earlier on for some reason. It just seems to have stopped working, because I think Spanish's audio is working okay. I think it's working okay anyway. I could see the the way the little circle thing works. So obviously there's just some little fucking problem on my end, and it's just not playing ball with me. Yeah, definitely. I've got no fucking audio working here at the moment. So I'll set up the after chat. And then what I will do is, anybody who's joining in the after chat, I won't be able to hear you just for the moment, and I'll reboot my fucking audio system and rejoin back into the chat then as soon as I've got you all in, whoever's going to join in. And hopefully that'll sort the problem out. So thanks everyone for joining in. It's been a privilege chatting with you, and thanks for your company tonight. We'll see you next Saturday night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good week, and let's enjoy the middle of fucking winter here in what's supposed to be summer. It's been a fucking awful. It's been an awful summer, I have to say. Just fucking awful, man. What more can be said? What more could be said about the goddamn thing? Best place to be somewhere on a beach, fucking South Europe, basking in the sun. Because I'll tell you what, we're going to get no more sun now this summer. I've had a look at the long range; it's not looking too good. So, look, we'll chat to you all next Saturday. Take care. Have a good week.